Mic check 1 2. Mic check one mother two. It's your boy Hakim Green, channel live and direct. BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark madism. I'm probably really loud. Yeah, we in the building. It's your man Hakim Green, channel live and direct. BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark mad ism. We got a very special guest who's going to be a regular, more so than not, on this show. Dr. Coach Eric Harrield. He's in the queue waiting. But in the meantime, in between time, let me homie.
Yep.
What
Yep.
up, brother? What's good? How you doing?
What's good, my man?
Everything's good. Everything's
Pretty good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we got our guest, our friend, Dr. Coach Eric
Yes.
Harrield is going to be joining us in a sec. But in the meantime, in between time, episode 58 of IZM Sports, we're going to get it going. You know how we rock out. Yeah, this goes out to every old head who took the little bits of wisdom. Yo, check it out. Listen. If pimpin' ain't easy, what the fuck is revolution? What? Rappers be spitting straight noise pollution. Here's a clean glass of water, I show you how to eat the live. What goes around comes, let me show you how to give. There's something that you hear when it honors at your rib. In the street, you tuck your jewels, thug drool like baby bibs. I try to stay mindful, write something for the kids. Talk it like I walk it, rap it how I live. I came up blue collar, strive to be a scholar, but I couldn't eat the love, I'd at least starve without the dollar. Depression, the stress is enough to make you holler when the landlord's at your doorstep. The devil's on your collar. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. They call me a slacker, cause I won't sell crack for the cracker. I call women queens and I love the berry blacker. Some chicks get it twisted, they'd rather be called bitches with their ass in the air like everybody's supposed to kiss it. It's a simple lesson, you get what you deserve. It's life a bitch or just a pimp with a perm. See mommy tricked out, made a little heartburn. It's something she'll forget when it's time to take her turn. When will the children learn this was better to earn? But when my niggas put in work, they like to make the metal burn. End up in the system, it's all systematic. Manchurian candidates, waving automatics. A product of a project launched in the 80s. Chemical warfare meant to kill the crack babies. Now as the world turns, is it just a story? Cause keeping it real got my sons in purgatory. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. In between heaven and Hades, like earthquakes in Haiti. The fat lady clears her throat, then plays harp for the babies. They say I'm such a mystic, lyrics are mythic, but I make it so plain with details and specifics. I'm just gifted like that. I'm young and I'm black, so represent the game. I represent the fact that God helps those who helps themselves. So when God helps you, He's really helping Himself. Make every day have purpose. It's the science of life. Every breath's another role. It's a science to die. Give me the moment. Learn from your mistakes. Try to learn from others. You get one roll at life, you won't get another. You have to learn the tricks, cause some niggas be on the gab. Want some funny business, but that shit will make you laugh. I thought he had the bread, wasn't wonder not the weed. I'm wondering how it's coming back, cause my connect ain't getting peace. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. It's all like jewels. Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that was Drop a Jewel by Hakim Green, produced by Ron Lawrence. Produced by Ron Lawrence. Wow, we got a lot going on over here on this side. I've been fumbling all show so far. That was Jewelry by your man Hakim Green, Produced by Ron Lawrence. Video by Nice Flicks. That's how that goes. Available on all DSPs. Come check your man out. Support. What up, Wes?
What up, Hawk? What
Uncle
up, Wes?
Spliffy,
There we go.
Uncle
I was trying to
Spliffy.
hit the mute button. I couldn't get off mute. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Good, everything. Episode 58. We got a special guest in the building, Cliff. I don't think I brought you up to speed. He came in last week. He called me up. I was on the highway jet here. I just left KRS-One in Miami. He's in the middle of shooting like 3 different videos. It's like I gotta break out. I get on the road. I'm on I-95. I'm dipping and dodging through traffic. I get a phone call from our guest talking about all the woes and the misery and woe is me, Laker fans. LeBron James is doing the Lakers dirty, you know, and he's a horrible father.
Never that.
He's gonna be about to be brought up on charges of child abuse.
No, never that.
Adrian P. He's setting Bronny up for the fall.
Listen. I don't know what coaches out there telling you. But coach was reading. He was reading my mind. I wasn't gonna say he was a bad father, but I watched a lot of high school basketball, and I seen a whole lot of high school basketball players in my day. And there is he got another year left, but as of right now, I don't see nothing NBA worthy in that game. I'm just saying.
Hey, Wes. Hey, so I called Hawk up, man. I was like, "Hey, Hawk, man, I got a hot take for you for the show." First of all, LeBron putting a lot of stress on this young boy. You know, I done coached some top 5 guys who didn't make the pros. You know, and this kid is ranked 35th in his class. Not too many of them make the pros. And definitely
I'm being fair. I'm being fair. Like, I've seen it. I'm like, he real good up here. Like, he's a good like even the NBA comparisons, the 3 people they compared him to, 2 of them I didn't even know their names. And Lonzo Ball was the 3rd one. And it was like, okay, and you see how Lonzo was a superstar in high school and the top dude, and he kind of fell off. But just watching a lot of the highlight reels and stuff like that, you know, is just, I don't know. Like,
and I just thought that's a lot of pressure to put on your kid, and you know,
3 years.
Yeah,
he gotta go one and done. Like he's not a one.
Right. He's not a one and done.
He's not. He needs more than that. He knows that. They all know that. But again, that's the pressure that we're talking about, because no, is anyone really seriously looking at him like that? No.
I mean, everybody.
He would be on TV every night. I was watching the Oak Hill game earlier. Bronny's not on TV.
No.
You know, these guys are Duncan, Fort Alley. I mean, come on, he's so.
The time
he's a good high school player. He's solid.
Yeah, like the time he was on high school, they played against Camden. DJ Wagner, who's the #1 player in his class, dropped him.
Yeah,
like, and it was such a basic move that he dropped him. I was like, oh my God, you know.
And he can't create his own shot off the dribble.
No, he's great. You know, he's great on the break.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just thought it's unfair pressure to put on your child. You know, that's something that, and I'm not, don't quote me on this, but one of Jordan's son was ranked top in his class too, but really far back there, you know, but you never heard Jordan put that kind of pressure on his child. Or Bron is putting pressure on dudes in the league, GMs in the league. Like, yo, you know, you can get me my last year. You just,
because if you're a GM, you signed a 39-year-old rookie, really, right? And with a sidekick on the side.
Right.
You're not signing Bronny at if you picking 15 to 25, you're not picking Bronny because of Bronny. You're picking LeBron because you think you can make the playoffs or win a championship with LeBron, and you taking his son as the consolation prize to get LeBron there.
Yeah, and the other hot take I had for you, Hawk, and I didn't get to this one was.
Wait, hold on. Cliff wanted to say something to that point. What's that point, Coach E?
Well, because the other play could be this cat drops to like the second round. He's just a low pick. So, it's low hanging fruit. And then somebody and that's just it. LeBron has relationships with so many different people, so many different GMs, his whole crew. So he's going to have relationships in a lot of different spots in the later rounds or whenever Bronny maybe get picked up. So LeBron is just going to be the bonus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is that really how you trying to play him out? But it's still pressure for him to even get to that level, though.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Round pick. But you know what you get, what you do get. Now, here's the plus. If you're a GM, you use that second round pick, which a lot of times is a throwaway pick anyway. You get LeBron's farewell tour. It's a lot of tickets, a lot of money, So I get it. I get it from that standpoint. I just thought, man, that's a lot of pressure on a kid that's ranked 35th in his class.
Or coach, it could be genius where he's guaranteeing Bronny a spot.
Yeah.
Not on necessarily some charity, but they know they're getting a little extra, a little lagniappe. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, okay. So, but he still has to get to that level, though.
Yeah.
So there's still pressure.
Yeah.
So there's no Tom Brady, sixth last pick of the draft end up being we're not saying Bronny's going to be the GOAT, but there's no way for him to, supersede or what's the word we're looking for? Exceed expectation.
I don't. And look, anything's possible. And hard work, anything's possible. But hey, if I got the last pick in the draft, yeah, I'm taking Bronny. Last pick, you wasn't going to get a player who was going to make your team anyway. So, let me take Bronny, and I get LeBron for a year. I get that farewell tour. I'm selling out all my home games, easily. So, but what if that's Sacramento? Bron not trying to go to Sacramento.
Well, maybe they will have developed, Halliburton.
I don't know because, LeBron could play a different type of position with a team like Sacramento and get them competitive, and then that kind of adds to his legacy. The Wizards were not competitive when Jordan went there. LeBron can make a team like Sacramento, competitive, get him to the playoffs. What would that say about his career?
Hold on. No,
he can't get the Lakers to the playoffs, so I don't know if he can get Sacramento.
Yeah, but the Wizards, you got to roll that back. The Wizards were competitive. They were actually more competitive than the Lakers are right now this year when Jordan played. They weren't going to the playoffs wrecking shop, but they were competitive and certainly 500 team because I lived in DC at the time.
Yeah, but Rip Hamilton wasn't Russell Westbrook. Stop.
Oh no.
You got to overcome Russell Westbrook, man. Come on, man. That's not fair.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton. He had Kwame Brown too.
Oh well.
Whoa.
There you go. Oh, okay, I take that back. Yeah, Kwame Brown.
That was that draft pick.
Yeah,
wow.
That was Kevin Willis's little nephew. Kevin Willis had the arms like this, and Kwame was running around with 5 pinkies.
Coach, you were gonna make a point before we lost Wes.
Yeah, my other hot take is, everybody's talking about now what can the Lakers do? As a Laker fan, do they trade AD because he's really the only one of value that they can trade? But how many people would take a injury prone AD?
Glass man.
Stretcher man.
Street
clothes.
If you want a model for Bloomingdale's, you go pick AD.
Yeah, because who's going to trade for injury prone 7-footer? But I would actually trade LeBron because you get more back for him.
You're not the only person that says that, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
I think that would be a smart move.
I think the Lakers need to I mean, no offense to LeBron, no slight on this one, but the Lakers need to do something like that to get control of their organization back.
Yes.
Because he's making these moves, and then now he's holding like Pelinka under the coals for what? When you really just gonna leave the Lakers high and dry, and they're gonna be a garbage squad for the next 10 years if they keep messing with you.
Yeah. Well, how did Pelinka get the job?
Well, same way with Kobe.
Kobe got that job. Yeah, but he doesn't listen. No one's in charge there. That's the problem. Like, who's really running this? And Pelinka, he certainly doesn't have the, certainly the skill or the experience to really run and make moves. And that's why Magic was out. Magic had to he just seems like
Jeannie trusted Kobe. Kobe didn't want no parts of being like a player personnel dude, but she trusted Kobe enough to be in the back scene and keep her eyes on Pelinka and just give him a little help. And Kobe was going to do that, but obviously Kobe's not here anymore. And Magic sort of writing on the wall when LeBron came and was like, I like LeBron. I like our relationship as it is. I know I can't out negotiate him in terms of his power and his structure with his group. So let me step aside so we maintain our cordialness, and I don't got to be a part of the foolishness that's about to happen. Jeannie is a business person. Jeannie runs the Lakers from a business perspective, but she's never really had a control over any of the basketball operations in terms of player personnel. She trusted her brother way too long. And Pelinka is an agent, right? So they felt like, having an agent in the house would essentially help them attract more players and give them a little bit more wherewithal in terms of the salary cap and how that thing can be manipulated, right? Because he's an agent. But on the flip side, now you got two agents, because when LeBron comes to town, Rich Paul comes with him. And all 8 of the players that you have under contract that are with Clutch.
And remember, Pelinka was not a well-liked agent. He's a little different from Leon Rose, who everybody loved. Players loved him, GMs loved him. Pelinka wasn't liked by anybody. He had Kobe.
He had Kobe and like 2 other people, but but Kobe was his cash cow. So it's a mess, really, to be honest with you.
It breaks my heart, man.
If I could chime in, I think that's a great call. I think it would be the best for all parties involved. Because if the Lakers keep tanking, it's going to take LeBron right down with him. Like he can't let the Lakers tank, because you're going to be the guy that tanked the Lakers.
But the Lakers aren't tanking; they're listening to his advice. You can't say the organization is tanking when the player is picking who he wants to play with. The Lakers are trying to do whatever they can, but you can't trade a first round 27 draft pick and a 29 draft pick because LeBron said so. LeBron ain't playing basketball in 29.
Right. But what were the Lakers before LeBron got there?
They were on the upright. They were coming up. Real talk. They were on their way up.
And you see what they let go.
Might not have been winning a world championship. I give that. We got a championship. What I'm saying is, but Hawk, right? In retrospect, the Lakers were in better shape than the Sacramento Kings are right now at that time. With those young players, they were in better shape.
And look how they developed
as an organization.
We have the proof in how they've developed. Kuzma, that whole crew.
Kuzma was developing. Lonzo Ball was developing. Ingram was developing.
Come on, we talked about an off thing. They were on the break or something.
In LA, if it don't equal chip, it doesn't mean anything.
But I think what's unfair about
LA Lakers aren't the Sacramento Kings.
But I think what's unfair about that, what's unfair about that comment is that the year that LeBron came as the only free agent they signed with all those young people, they were in 3rd place with those young boys balling. Zoe got hurt, Rondo got hurt, LeBron got hurt, Ingram got hurt, and Kuzma got hurt, and LeBron got rid of everybody in the offseason. So in my opinion, they were all thriving and moving in the right direction, whereas he might have been able to do more with what he had then, and now have those boys. Those boys could be in prime order with experience.
It's the curse of having LeBron.
Well,
because if you have LeBron, You gotta win now. There is no build for the future. Build for the future is a failure every year you don't win the chip. It just is what it is. And in LA, even worse because LA is expected to be competing for a chip. With LeBron there, like now, LeBron going somewhere else, depending on where that somewhere else is, his formula, it might work. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not saying he's got the master plan. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if the Lakers keep going in the direction they're going with him on the team, that's going to be bad for his legacy as well as it's bad for the Lakers.
Well, I guess I don't get that. I don't get it because he's picking those players. So what direction are the Lakers going in without his help?
Which is why them trading him makes all the sense in the world, is what I'm saying to you.
Oh yeah. I get that.
What I'm saying to you is LeBron. What LeBron is what LeBron is. Like the way he's able to make moves and exert a certain level of power is because of who he is. It just comes along with having LeBron. He can't fall back. He can't let Rob Pelinka run the show. He can't do that. No matter where he goes, he's going to have a lot of say-so in the pot. So maybe if he goes somewhere else where that's welcomed and needed, great. But in LA, he can't do that. That's not going to work. The organization is going to be perceived, whether it's the case or not, is that the organization is tanking and it's his fault.
Right. Yeah, I mean that will be the perception.
Even though he won a chip. He won a chip.
Yeah. But it's going to be the perception, and it is his fault because he needs to fall back. And the way he can fall back is, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to sit down with Magic and take some advice from Magic, who's part of the organization but not part of the organization. And maybe then it doesn't look like I'm giving up power to Pelinka, or there's ways he can do it so this can work. But how things are right now, it's a mess because it's a power struggle that just will not work.
Well, and nothing they're doing is working.
What you said about Rob Pelinka, like nobody likes Rob Pelinka.
Nobody likes Rob Pelinka.
Right. So going into the situation, the level of respect for Rob Pelinka is what? That's not LeBron James's fault. You can't. That's not LeBron
you're right.
James's fault.
You're not. No, it's not. Yeah. Rob Pelinka's not Rob. It's not LeBron.
Like
LeBron's fault.
The structure of the LA Lakers and how it's run, he doesn't respect anybody there. Whereas in Miami, there was a level of respect because of Pat Riley in the way the operations run there.
The key word you said was level. There was a level, and then he had to go because he wanted that power. He couldn't, so he had to have the power, so he broke out.
Levels everything.
But at some point, as a player, regardless of your stature, respect the hierarchy of the organization. Jordan hated
Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause hated him, but he respected his position as the GM of the team.
I don't want to. It's a different world. It's different. It's a whole different world.
Yeah, but if you don't have that level of respect,
it's a whole different. Bro, but it's like it's just a whole different mindset of a '90s athlete, professional athlete.
No, I get that.
And how relationship to ownership and
I get
just
all
looked at
that.
different.
But you get what we getting right now. At some point, you got to say, hey, you know what? He's the GM. I may not like things he's doing, and I can badmouth him to death every move he makes. But I got to respect the fact that he's the GM.
And we all in this panel can agree that we all thought Buddy Hield was a better fit. And that was Rob Pelinka's move. So Rob Pelinka's the GM who wanted Buddy Hield. LeBron wanted
they discussed this earlier, and there's a number of wants that LeBron wanted that he didn't get. And there's a number of things like there's compromises and that went both ways.
Yeah, but
I haven't looked at one talk show today. I will say Buddy Hield is a better deal.
I agree, and I would, but
regardless of all of that,
wanted him though. That wasn't like
what I don't understand is he's beefing, he's upset, he doesn't like Pelinka, but he okayed all these deals. All these moves are LeBron.
Yep.
First of all,
Yep.
period. So
That's what I was saying.
Pelinka is a figurehead in all this.
Scapegoating Pelinka.
He's
And
scapegoat
please,
Pelinka right now.
hold on, yeah, but let's backpedal though, because when LeBron got rid of all those cats after that first year run, they were a player away from continuing that, building that on a championship run.
With that
and we see the evidence of that. Huh? It's not like we don't. We see Ingram now. We see Kuzma now. We see these cats. We see Ball now. They had cats, and before all those people got hurt anyway, they were balling.
Yep.
So why do you blow that up? That's LeBron, yo.
They were actually
All
balling.
this shit.
They beat Golden State on Christmas Day by like 25 points.
They traded all those kids for Plastic Man.
Yeah. Well, and all these moves are LeBron, yo. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. They got the chip, right?
Yeah, but it's a bubble chip, yo. It's a bubble chip, yo.
They got the bubble chip.
Yo,
it's a bubble chip, yo.
Before the pandemic, where were the Lakers sitting? Number one.
They were first place that year.
First place in the West. Chill. They was winning the chip that year, yo. Stop it.
It wasn't
that year.
But Hawk, it's not like people disrespect the chip because it was in a bubble. It's more or less Plastic Man, street clothes, glass, broken cat. He was in a controlled low environment as opposed to being able to move around where he can get, he can't. They're basically saying they don't respect how AD got it because he was in a controlled environment.
And he got months off to just
rest. Exactly. I
mean, months. Everybody got months off to rest.
Yeah, but can
Plastic Man
Davis sustain his
I mean, when everybody
needs time to go to his tailor so he can get his street clothes ready.
Everybody's playing under the same circumstances. It's not like the Lakers trained for the pandemic. Like we're gonna train. We expecting this to happen. No, I mean everybody's confronted with the same obstacles, the same conditions, the same everything.
Everybody was in the same. Everybody was in the same situation. The only thing I think that's different in the bubble than anything was they were in one location and there were really no fans. And I think road games in the NBA playoffs are really significant in basketball. Road games, away, road, we call it bench players typically or role players typically don't play well on the road, whereas in the bubble, everybody just was in a zone and they were able to keep continuity. There was no travel. All that stuff comes into play. Yeah. Do I think the Lakers would have still won a championship?
It was actually more about basketball.
It was just about basketball.
It was about basketball.
But still, traveling with your fans in your home court is about basketball too. I mean, not playing in a silo.
But unfortunately, like. It's not like
but everybody had that.
And being in a bubble. Being bubble wrapped.
Yeah, but it was
glass man.
It was a safe environment.
Stop it.
It was a safe environment.
Stop it.
Listen, I'm not questioning anything about LeBron, yo.
It's not about LeBron. Right. It's not LeBron. LeBron is not questioned here. It's just the fact that what I'm saying is that there's a level of you like you were saying rebuilding and you might not have had to wait as long as you thought you had to wait with the players that you had. That's all I was saying. Because they were actually doing very well, and it was unfinished. It was incomplete because they all got hurt, including LeBron. They all got hurt.
Hey, look, and the bubble year helped LeBron too. It helped his body rest. So it was great all around for the Lakers.
Everybody.
No, but it helped older guys even more than younger guys. You saw even Golden State. It helped them tremendously. Phoenix with CP3, it helped him tremendously because had that time off for the older guys' bodies to rest. They could come back, at full strength. So I mean, look, that helped. Lakers won the championship, and
remember, the Lakers struggled earlier in the bubble. Early they struggled. Like they just didn't get it. Like it was they left the season out. I think they had they had a losing streak closing out the season, but they were still in first. It was they didn't. It wasn't as strong when the pandemic hit, but they were still in first place.
You know what the bubble did? The bubble knocked Milwaukee out because Milwaukee was really strong right there. And the George Floyd situation happened in Milwaukee. It took their mind off of basketball. That was their focus then. You know, I think that was the biggest effect, and it allowed Miami, which should not have been in the championship, to go ahead and win the East. That's what the bubble did. Because Miami, it would have been Milwaukee, but their minds weren't there anymore. They were thinking about other things back home.
Yeah, well, can't question that.
I don't disagree. I think that we need to we can stay right here because he's still kind of the center of it, but I think we need to like revisit All-Star Weekend.
Yes, sir.
Because
we were all wrong on that one.
the game itself, how the NBA sent a little message as they allowed the GOAT to walk to the middle of the ring. At the end, I thought that was like, wow, like they cleared out the middle for one player, and it was kind of bugged out that he was like in the middle of the ring and the last player. But the game itself, I thought was like it always is in the last couple of years, a whole lot of points, a lot of people getting out the way. Obviously, Steph was stupid, incredible, shooting look away threes. That was just like insane. The shots he was like that right there. And that's something is another topic I want to get into about him and what I've asked. And I wanted to ask you guys, and I don't want to change the subject, but I'm gonna ask this question real quick and get back to what I was gonna go to with the All-Star game. I think we should have a call on this show with I got a teenager was 17, 16, a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, us on this panel, and then a 60, 70, or a 70-year-old, and have us talk about who the greatest players were. Because the 70, the 75, the 80-year-old dude, I spoke to one this week. When I asked him who the best player all around he ever seen, including all these guys now, you know who he said? Oscar. Right? And it was kind of amazing that he said it without he said, what about all the videos you see? He looks real slow. He said, till you get on the court with him. He said, you look real slow until you get on the court with him. But so everyone has a different perspective. And then I had a godson who's 27. He said that if you look at the players, who are your top 10 players without the old guys? And I said, Shaq, Olajuwon, Dr. J, Bird, Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, and I think it was who was the 10th? I think Olajuwon. Did I say Olajuwon twice? Oh, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was the 10th, right? So I had those are the 10 that I think I've seen that are the best 10 that I think in my eyes, right? And I said, who in your era outside of LeBron, because I have LeBron in that 10, who's playing now that can knock any one of those guys off of that list? He said, I got 3 right now, or 2 definitely. He said, because KD way better than all those small forwards on that list. And he's like, if Steph could knock out, Steph could knock out Shaq tomorrow, or Olajuwon. And he said it with such confidence that I couldn't say no, right? I couldn't disagree with him, and it just raised a good argument because at the end of the day, from his perspective, he said, yeah, all you guys your age, it'd be like, Steph don't play no D. He's like, Shaq can't shoot free throws. He was like, so what's your point? He said, Steph can shoot, Shaq can't. And I was like, well, Shaq is asked to shoot in the paint. Steph is asked to shoot threes. He was like, yeah, but he was like, Steph does it better than anybody ever did it. I was like, he's the best shooter. I can't argue that. So it's just really interesting to see the perspective, even with Kevin Durant, even with a Joel Embiid. He had Embiid as a top 5 center all time right now.
Bro.
So that's what I'm saying. And you can't really, when he was breaking it down, I was like,
and there's validity in all that.
Joel Embiid is a beast, bro.
There's validity in all that.
Yeah. He's a beast.
That's why I said it'd be a good topic to have the different generations break down their points, because he's saying that, hey, you got we praising all these dudes, and I'm just saying, I was like, from my perspective, I've actually seen them play. You just shoot and catch down that you haven't seen play. And I said, our generation doesn't get into disrespecting the past. We just say we hadn't seen them play, and we put our players that we did. You guys just say they was whack. They only played with 10 teams. They were playing with smaller people. Look at them. They're not athletic. There's all those things that they say automatically. They don't even give you the fact that that they were actually great doing it at their time in their era. They were doing it what was in front of them. They couldn't help that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Shaq,
I think it's a good show.
Is you have to see that to believe that, and you have to be around that. Like, we obviously saw it and experienced it. Like, and if you're gonna discredit Shaq as a new cat, these millennials, it's gonna be obviously his free throws, and it's egregious. You know what I'm saying? He left a lot of food on the table. You know what I'm saying? But his how he dominated and what he was. You really had to see that to believe that, so they can't appreciate it.
I couldn't knock Shaq. The one I would not. I think you said Dr. J. KD knocks him out. KD.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just named him as like what I ever seen. And KD's not finished yet.
Embiid is the only one. He's got to do more. He's got to do more, but he has potential to be one of the great. Shaq was just so dominant.
The Embiid this year. This year, if he carries this throughout, this dude is going to be one of the greatest ever, yo.
And it's because of his fitness, and he's putting it all together this year because they calling it the process, right? We seen it work out, and and then it's all been elevating to this point, and he's been telling us for years he's the best.
Yeah, and if he can continue it, he's definitely in that conversation. KD definitely.
I couldn't argue. I couldn't argue with him. I couldn't argue with him.
Jeff, you these cats, Steph was the greatest shooter ever.
Yeah,
we agreed on that.
You know what goes? What Steph doesn't get respect for is his handle. Steph can handle the ball.
Yeah,
he can.
But see, you said that right there, right? And he brought that up as well. But he looked at it. I had to stop him in his tracks because he was like, "Who can handle like Steph? Nobody back then." I was like, "No." There were players who could handle like Steph. They didn't do it because the game has evolved. Like, because he was using the game has evolved. You got to evolve with the game. I was like, and there were guys that could handle like that, but they weren't allowed to do it in action because the physicality of the game changed.
Nate Archibald. Nate Archibald.
He said Wilt couldn't shoot. I was like, no, Wilt can shoot jump shots from half court like they were threes, and he made them. So he shot inside because that's what centers did back then.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
It's great points. Like Nate Archibald, Pete Maravich, those guys could handle the rock, but it wasn't how the game was played. Now, I look at guys like a Bob Cousy who could not dribble with his left hand. Those are the things I look at, like where the game has progressed to now. A lot of those older guys just couldn't hold these guys' water, but that was the game then. So I can't argue with the young folks. I'm actually with them on those three players. I just want to see more. I want to see more from Embiid. This year, yes, but I need to see it consistently over a stretch of time. But those three, that's a sound argument.
He came at me real strong with it. So,
well, they have the benefit of only a short time period as far as when we're talking about the whole careers. You know what I'm saying? And while those older cats, as far as the athleticism, can't really compare to today. Like a cat like Wilt, he was just a phenom. Period.
He was Giannis.
Any era.
He was Giannis.
Any era cat, period.
He was a better Giannis.
We got to start looking at this now. Can they do it in any era?
Any era. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
What's up?
Should Bill Walton be on the 75 list?
Hell no.
No, that was the next thing. But Bill Walton is not the first that he shouldn't be the first to come off. Let me tell you the first person that needed. Well, first of all, Damian Lillard had no business being on that list.
Yeah, Damian
Let's
Lillard
be
had
real.
no business. Nah.
Okay, that's the first person. But the second person of the older people, the first older person, before I name them, who are the top 10 centers that you've seen play? When you think about top 10 centers in your time,
Kareem.
We can all chime in because we got the same one.
Shaq.
3.
Olajuwon.
4.
I'm gonna put Russell in there. I didn't see him play.
5.
But,
that's 5. That's 5. That's fine. David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. Can we agree on those two?
Yep.
Yeah, we can put
that's
that
7.
in there.
Moses Malone, number 8.
Brad Daugherty.
Brad Daugherty. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna put him, but I have Alonzo or Brad Daugherty.
Yeah, Alonzo Mourning, of course.
Okay, so we named 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is Robert Parrish doing on that list?
Yep.
Oh wow.
He got the benefit of playing with that team. That's all.
Yeah, that was carryover. Playing with Bird.
I'm going Bob Lanier and maybe Artis Gilmore before I go Robert Parrish.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with those two.
And they're not even on the list. So what's his
points? What's his points?
He was averaging. What I'm saying is he was averaging 8 points a game in Golden State as a role player. He got traded to Boston. It became a role player and started averaging like 17 or 18. But my point is, he was playing with Bird and McHale. He was a role player. He wasn't like a James Worthy role player. He was a real role player.
Yeah, you never had to double him.
No, he was a real role player. So he got 3 championships. But if you're gonna put Robert Parrish on the list, put Robert Horry on the list.
Yeah,
it's like him and Lillard were the two that I was like that jumped off the page. Bill Walton. All I got to say about Bill Walton is what Shaq and Chris Webber said on TNT one night. That man got 6,000 points. C Webb.
I had somebody tell me that you don't know Bill Walton might be the best passing big man in the history of the game, if not him or Joker.
Please,
hey, look, you know what I give Bill Walton? He was a great college player.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was one of the greatest.
But so was Christian
Leitner. Yeah, like that doesn't what they got to do.
So was Tyler Hansborough.
What does that have to do with the NBA?
Yeah,
so was Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah, he right.
Yeah,
he right.
You're absolutely on point with that.
We got 12 centers that we named, and Alonzo, Lanier, and Gilmore weren't on the 75. And I feel like Alonzo should have been on the 75, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
But he wasn't. But for Robert Parrish to be there, like I said, Damian Lillard was suspect to me. There was somebody else.
I would take Mutombo over Robert Parrish.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I would too. Oh, excuse me. Street Clothes shouldn't have been on there either. Sorry.
Street Clothes. Why was Street Clothes on there? I don't even get that, yo.
They want to put some new school cats on there.
The only new school cats that deserve to be there was Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Durant, Curry are shoo-ins, right? That are playing now. LeBron obviously is shoo-in. Harden deserves to be there. He's got multiple scoring championships. He has an MVP. So I can see Harden. Harden is in there. I have no problem with him. Russell Westbrook has 4 years of triple doubles. I get why he's there. He has a resume to be there. But when you really get past that, like it's like, this is the era above. We got to have better standards when we start talking about greatness versus just tossing cats in. And it's gonna be a time when it's gonna be like other guys that are younger that get to be added to the list before we get to 100, and there's gonna be guys that's older that need to come off that list.
Yeah.
Like Bill Walton.
Kyrie and Dwight Howard should have been on the list.
I agree. I think Dwight Howard definitely.
Dwight Howard, yes. Kyrie, I don't think he's done enough yet.
I think Kyrie's done more than Lillard. He did more than Lillard.
He did. Yeah.
I thought Klay Thompson had a beef.
Yeah, I was asking about Klay. Yeah.
Because I'm like, for me, Klay Thompson reminds me, to me personally, Klay Thompson is the equivalent to James Worthy. Because there were two great players that were playing with great players. And they could have easily, like Klay Thompson could have easily got Finals MVP if he didn't blow out his knee in that Finals against Toronto. He was going to be the Finals MVP. Period. Mm-hmm. So, and Worthy has a Finals MVP playing with Magic and Kareem. Mm-hmm. So for me, like their games were already superstar status, even with Steph and Kevin Durant on the squad. Klay Thompson wasn't, to me, a role player. He's a superstar. And so that would be a guy that to me, I like him better than Lillard. And I don't like him being there, to be honest with you, but I say if the next batch, when they make another list in maybe 5 years, I think Klay Thompson should be on there and somebody else should get out of there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. So
we were all wrong on who would get the MVP. We were far off on that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Before we transition to the next topic, I kind of wanted to set it up. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna hop into the clip, and then let's see where we go.
Over our cars and Charlie, come here. Charlie, there's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? What does the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap. What? Slap. What? Slap.
Oh man, let's talk about Juwan Howard, yo.
I'm glad my man is still employed, yo. I'm glad they got love for him in Ann Arbor, yo.
All I'm gonna say is this.
That's my dude.
I love Juwan Howard, right?
That's
and I know you can't do what he did. You can't reach out and touch someone. But I haven't seen anything this egregious since John Chaney, and I'm still trying to figure out what Calipari said, because Calipari had to say something.
Yeah.
And we don't know what my man said under his mouth in that little exchange, but for Juwan to snap like that is like, I didn't like the press conference for either one of them either. I thought Juwan's was, he could have been a little bit more detailed, because it was just messed up. But the coach to say, I was trying to I have to coach my team to the end of the game. You up 15 with 3 seconds left, you call a timeout. You were doing that to rub it in. That's it. Let's be honest.
Well, I didn't see the game until the end, but it was commentary that said that they were pressing.
Yeah,
they were pressing the team. So it was like, Michigan hadn't really given up, even though it was only 15 seconds left and you're losing. So it was like, all right, timeout.
But there's a difference between press and playing a man-to-man just to kind of keep the game moving. They were trying to keep it. I mean, I don't think it was. I don't know.
Which is what they always do. They weren't fouling though. It wasn't like they were trying to prolong the game.
No, they were just pressing. But he apparently was trying to, which is why he grabbed Juwan. He was trying to explain to him that the college rule is when you blew the whistle and you can advance the ball, you don't lose the 10 seconds, which is why he called the timeout. So that's why he was justifiably calling the timeout, which Juwan was interpreted as, extending the game, rubbing it in, the whole unwritten rule type thing.
Yep.
But Juwan was going to do the typical blow by, and he grabbed him, and you saw him. He grabbed him up, and that's when you saw Juwan's face change.
Okay, can you re-explain the rule, please?
Well, when there was a I think the whistle was blown because the person lost his shoe. So if he didn't call a timeout, then he would have had only 4 seconds to advance. The 10-second rule basically would have been enforced. But by calling a timeout, he basically get the 10 seconds to advance past the half court. So that's why he was trying to justifiably say he was calling the timeout. And he wanted to explain that to Juwan. So
trying to hear it.
And Juwan said he told him not to put his hands on him, and the dude had him by the arm here, and he said he told him clearly to get your hands off me, and he kept trying to hold on to him. And Juwan said he took offense to that.
Trying to explain himself.
Yeah.
It was he
bad look.
He should have kept it pushing. But
and he could have talked to him later.
Yeah.
You know, that just wasn't the time. Once he was like, "Yo, get your hands off me," that's it.
You just gotta get your hands off you.
Just get your hands off you.
It's nothing to talk about. That's also reading the room. You know, somebody tell you get your hands off. All right, we good. All right, let's keep it pushing.
But it begs the question because he was pushed away, and it was a crowd. But what did the assistant coach say?
Hey, that's
what we were. That's never happened to come out yet.
Apparently, the assistant coach grabbed one of the Michigan players, according to they said improperly. Like he put his hands on a Michigan player. That's what Juwan was upset about too. That's what I heard as well. Like that assistant put his hands on one of the players, and Juwan took offense to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's it. That's it right there.
Yeah. You don't put your hands on anybody. You go down the line and really your hand is out and you just slap it. You're not even shaking hands. You just, it's a quick dap. You go through. That's it. If you know the player, you might give him a hug. All right, my man, good job. But in a heated situation like that, you just keep it moving.
Yeah, we just don't know what it was, but we hope it goes away. I hope it doesn't tarnish his legacy because he's a good coach.
He is a good coach. And I thought Wisconsin coach should have been suspended for putting his hands on Juwan. That's been overlooked in this situation.
Yeah,
don't put your hands on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the world we live in. But
of course.
But look what it incited.
Don't put your hands on me.
Look what it incited.
Right.
And you saw how he grabbed him, but I thought the assistant.
You talk the way Juwan grabbed him.
No, I'm talking about
the way
how
the coach grabbed Juwan.
The way the coach grabbed
Juwan. He grabbed him by the arm.
Yeah, he grabbed him
from going. It wasn't like just
He was like, you're gonna listen to me. That's
right.
It was you're gonna listen to me grab. And Juwan was like, no, I'm not. And you're gonna get your hands off me. And that's it. It's really simple.
And the assistant coach should have been suspended too.
Yeah,
I think Juwan, what he got was fair, which I was hoping and glad he didn't get fired, man, because they have love for him. Him being an alum holds some weight. Now, obviously, he's a good dude, but he could have gotten fired.
Yes,
that was.
I think that if the assistant coach grabbed the Michigan player, and his reaction was to that may be why he didn't get fired.
Probably, exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
because it's just a bad look.
Juwan did say that though. Juwan said, I didn't like the way he handled one of my players.
Yeah, well, that
and if you think about Juwan's mindset, he's thinking, "What's up with these Wisconsin cats trying to grab all of us up?" You know what I'm saying? So he's like, no, I'm not.
I'm just going to throw it out there again. Wisconsin.
Enough said. Yeah.
Well, he put the 5 fingers of death on jokers. He gave him the Fab Five. Yeah, man, that was crazy.
That was.
I'm glad it's only 5 games.
I will say though, the best meme I saw was if Juwan was going to slap anybody for calling the timeout, it should have been Chris Webber.
Yeah, I heard that one too. That was wild.
I thought that was great.
That's wrong.
That was rich, boy. Woo. That was a good one. They got that one off.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So how we looking
Can't
for
make
the
this stuff up.
second half of the season, guys? How we looking in terms of you got Kyrie playing eight games of the last 23?
Nah, Kyrie, they about to lift that, man. Kyrie about to play.
Yeah, that's going down. When's that going down?
It's going down, man.
Next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Next couple weeks it's going down.
Really? Okay.
No, I'm serious, huh? The mayor said it, and they're
who said it?
Adams.
Adams said it.
Yeah,
it's going down, man.
Good.
It's for real. It's gonna happen, but
because
I'm curious to see.
Because if it's not, I'm gonna call it the bubble chip. Whoever wins it. Just let y'all know, niggas.
I'm curious to see how when Ben comes back, Ben Simmons comes back, because particularly if he comes back before that Philly game, that at Philly game, March 11th. So
I got a question. Do you think LeBron is going to call the commissioner and ask him about the play-in game this year?
No.
Is it going to be fair this year? Or you gonna host a press conference this year on that one and how whack it is?
No, he's not gonna be doing that. He need that right now, boy.
Yeah, they better hope they hold on to 10.
Yeah.
One of my boys brought it to my attention. We were talking about the game, and I was like, we was talking about the last shot, right? And I was like, that was a tough shot he made, to end the All-Star game. That was a tough fadeaway, fall away. And he was just talking about how you gotta want that moment, yada yada yada. He was loving it, right? And he deserved it. It was a great shot. But I started laughing because that's the same dude that Dwayne Wade was trying to give the ball to when Kobe was pushing up on him, and he said Kobe played too hard in the All-Star game. So I started scratching my head. I was like, "You're right. He did do that. He did do that. Like, what is that? Like, I don't still understand that mindset. I don't get it. I don't get that part."
Hey man,
I don't know.
He was in Cleveland. He was feeling good being at home.
Yeah. It was a great shot too.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. Steph missed 2 threes before that.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Steph could have ended that twice.
Steph could have ended that quickly.
And it should have been. It would have been more epic because he would have got the record of 53 points. He did get the MVP.
Held by plastic, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Plastic man holds that record.
Yeah.
Coach.
52.
Who's that? McGrady?
Nah, Stretcher man.
Sure. AD.
Oh,
Street clothes.
He scored 50 in the All-Star game? That's right. AD did score 50 in the All-Star game.
2017.
How did that happen?
He was balling.
No, he was balling.
He was balling. I remember that game too. He was.
Can we talk about one topic in the NBA real quick before we get back into the postseason and how we look at the second half?
Well, I want to hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand what Coach E was telling us last week about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Coach K. I thought he was talking about 2 separate situations. I didn't know it was the same situation.
It was the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't get that.
Tell Cliffy.
What happened?
So, Coach E, you tell the story.
Well, during the Olympics, maybe 2008, I believe.
Yeah, 2008.
They had an exhibition game. LeBron comes off the floor, says to Coach K, Kobe's being Kobe, and he says, "Hey, you gotta get this MFer straight. You got to get him right."
Kobe wasn't sharing the ball.
He was, being Kobe, taking contested shots. Not, he was Kobe. And so LeBron didn't like that because, everybody was sharing the ball. It's a bunch of, a great team. A couple days later, same kind of situation comes up with LeBron and how he's acting, as, I'm the guy or whatever. And some players, as well as the coaching staff, got to talk to LeBron. And he speaks to LeBron, and for the first time, and this is what brought the team together, other players in the league saw, a coach really talk to LeBron in a way that LeBron respected and listened to. And they said they never saw anybody talk to LeBron that way. And that's what brought the team together, because the situation with Kobe was different, where Kobe, when Krzyzewski spoke to him, showed him film, Kobe was like, "You're right. Those were bad shots." Had to say no more. But LeBron, being the king, wasn't used to anybody telling him what to do, how to play, or anything. And Krzyzewski said, "Look, I'm the coach. You got to trust what I'm doing and believe, and we'll be all right." And that's what brought that team together. And, that showed LeBron had never been coached or spoken to in a way. And it goes back to where we are now, actually, with Pelinka. He just doesn't respect
him. No.
It's very few people he respects.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Wes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask about what y'all think about Zion.
Oh, man, bust.
Oh, man, somebody said Zion going to go to DR and get some surgery to keep the weight off.
The Knicks. Let him blow up, stock fall, send him to the Knicks.
Oh, man, he great Odom, bro.
Nah.
If it's a foot problem, he's done.
But he's 300-something pounds, bro. He can't.
If it's a foot problem.
It's some, he's some.
And he's knock-kneaded. He knock-kneaded and pigeon-toed.
Yeah, man, he's not.
And you can tell when he walks together that he probably got a little rawness between his thighs because the legs run together.
If he can
that motherfucker chafe.
He's chafing.
He's
definitely chafing.
He is coming to the Knicks, though. I'm with you on that, Cliff. He's coming to the Knicks.
He's coming to the Knicks.
But
he has a ghost injury. He got a I don't want to play injury. He got a I don't want to play in New Orleans injury.
He's done with New Orleans, Joe.
You know that his mom is his nutritionist.
Yeah. He needs to hire and be serious about his weight.
His mom is his nutrition. On that country fried chicken.
Oh man, he's eating well,
man. Smothered everything.
He's eating crawfish.
They getting the big candy yams, the Costco can. They get the big candy yams now.
The word is bond.
He's eating that gumbo down in New Orleans.
No, he's eating well, man.
Yeah.
He's coming to the Knicks, man. It's all set up.
He want to get out of New Orleans. Like, even though JJ Redick had a good take on it, he was like, yo, I mean, the fact that he hasn't spoken to CJ McCollum tells you who he is. He ain't interested in New Orleans.
And JJ played with him and said he's a detached teamlot.
Yeah,
so that means he never wanted to be there.
No.
I don't like that. And I know a lot of responsibilities. I know a lot of responsibilities on Bron.
Yeah, that's the league right now. That's the culture.
It's horrible because it's like, come on, man, just play out your rookie contract and then pull the shenanigans.
But don't get it twisted. If y'all don't know, they giving away tickets at what is it called? Frosted Flake Arena or something. What is it?
Like Soft Serve Arena. Crazy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they give away tickets, free tickets to that. So he's box office when he's playing. I mean, he only played the 1 year, but imagine, they have to give away tickets. I mean, it's never a full arena. I mean, he doesn't want to be there, yo. No basketball player wants to be in New Orleans.
Hey, AD didn't want to be there.
CP3 didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Chris Paul didn't want to be there.
Right, Chris Paul didn't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there.
Smoothie King Arena. Thank you, Cease. Appreciate it, bro.
Smoothie King.
I call it Frosted Flakes.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, no, he's coming to New York. I think
I see him all in New York. And I don't see nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, I see him and
Cat coming to New York. So you think he's just behind closed doors on the low in tip-top shape?
Not tip-top shape.
Oh, no.
But I bet you he could play himself into shape quickly if he get traded to New York.
Yeah.
He'd be motivated to get in shape.
I don't know, all that weight coming down on them feet. I don't know.
Look, the only time he's been in shape, the only time he's ever been in shape was at Duke.
At Duke, yeah.
He was never in shape. And if you look at his high school clips,
that's high school college. Really, when he was 18, 19 at Duke, you still high school.
He's still only 21.
Man, when you eating grits in the morning every day, 21. But he was eating that. 41. He was eating that.
He's always been eating that. What I'm saying is,
Duke
was the only time he's ever been in shape.
Yeah, he eat that good bacon too, the one with the hard gristle.
In high school, he was pudgy.
Yeah,
yeah.
But he wasn't playing against anybody. He went to a small private school.
Yeah, he did.
Was playing against some bums, so he looked great. He got to Duke. He got in shape. You know, they had him on the program. He got to the league. They give you freedom. You know, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. And he hired his mom as his nutritionist, and that's where it all went wrong.
That doesn't make sense to me. How you got millions of dollars invested in somebody, and you like, I'm gonna let you figure out your own diet. Like my
his
whole
mom
thing
said, is this catfish sandwich with hot sauce is you're not eating meat. It's catfish.
This ketchup is all this ketchup, all the tomatoes you need.
Yeah, exactly. You know, come on now. You know what she's doing.
Yep, this candy
yams
with all this sugar and everything. That's good for you. You know, it's a vegetable. You know,
keep your energy up.
I know what my baby needs.
That's right.
Exactly.
I've raised him for 20 years. He loved my collard greens.
That's right. Them collard greens.
Man, yeah, he's very disappointing, but I won't call him a bust just yet because I think it's all a fraud right now. He just really don't want to play there, and I think he'll get himself in shape as soon as he gets traded.
But he is huge, though.
He's big. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He blew, and they were trying to hide him wobbling out the gym. Well, he was, and I want to say he wasn't even practicing. He was watching practice and wobbling out the gym, and I was like, wow. Not only is he not healed and can walk, you know, his foot is out clearly still screwed up, but he was big.
And he's naturally a big boy because his weight at Duke, he was 270. That's him in shape, 270.
Yeah.
So, and he's only 6'5".
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
A lot of weight.
So that's what happened to Eddie Winslow. I was calling him Eddie Winslow from Family Matters. I said that's where he was hiding.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I hope he gets it together because
he's too good, man.
He is too.
I mean, he gets up off the floor so fast off of rebounds. Like Moses, the last person to do what he does, like up in the air, rebound, put it back up. Like he's a talent. He
and he has a handle.
Yeah, he has
a handle. He used to be a point guard before he sprouted up and then blew up. But he was, you know, he got massive handle. Those feet, quick feet, springs. I hope and pray he can get that weight under control.
You know who's going to force him to get into shape? Jordan. And the reason I say that because he signed the Jordan brand. They put a lot of money behind him. They just came out with his shoe. And he's got to play. He's got to live up to, you know, he's got to
Jordan have to lace him up right now like he did the Magic.
We still talking about Zion?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I just don't understand why that hadn't taken place yet. Where, you know, this is the structure, this is your regimen, this is how you going, this is your diet plan, this is how we going, like this is your schedule, and you because he's Jordan.
Well, no, I've heard Zion. That they gave him that. They gave him all that hock, and he was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." So
that's sad.
That's because your man LeBron got these kids thinking they can do stuff like that. They don't have to listen.
What are you talking about? LeBron's on his game. He invested $1 million.
No. I'm not saying he's not, but he has these kids thinking they don't have to. LeBron is self-motivated. Yes, we know that. But he has all these younger players now feel as though they can call the shots. They can do what they want. They're in control, which is beautiful in a lot of respects. But in others, it's
no, for sure. I totally agree. But it's like if you're gonna use somebody as your model, use that person as your model and do what they do. Not exactly how they do it, but you can't say, he's the example here, but over here,
not
that's
here.
What happens.
But not over here.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
They don't want to do all the work. They just want to see. They want the cliff notes.
Yeah, they taking the easy way. The cliff notes is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to sit out and I'm not going to play, and they'll trade me. AD did it in New Orleans too. Remember, he sat out for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I can't believe this dude James Harden actually puts on a fat suit.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yo, he actually puts on a fat suit. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, like little Spanx, the body Spanx underneath.
He puts on he goes to practice with a fat suit on to make it seem like he's heavier than what he is. And he did it in Houston. Like I thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be a real thing. He will put on a fat suit. You're talking about him. I'll play myself in the weight. Nah, nigga, he's in shape. He's in bullshit. Shape.
He just want to be traded, want to get out of it.
So he got it. I don't know what he does or how he does it, but he fakes being out of shape.
These cats these days, yo, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
They do everything not to work.
Why don't he just fake how to win a championship?
That's why he can step in and put up 45. Like, how does dude do this if he out of shape? Because he's not really out of shape.
Right. Right. Because you remember that summer. Actually, that summer, he was in the best shape ever because they showed him running like sand hills in Cali, everything. He was in great shape. Then next thing you know, you see him, he's fat and that's like, how that happened? But he was rocking the fat suit.
The fat suit.
He was rocking the fat suit.
Yo, man, that's crazy. You come on, man. You really going extra hard. If those are the links you're going to, man, Deshaun Watson should have been taking notes from James Harden while he was like, how do I get out of my shit, nigga? Show me the way. I'm stuck up in this motherfucker.
It's still there.
It's still here. There. Yeah. Man, that's crazy. So are we done with the NBA? We still got NBA to discuss?
Well, we haven't really discussed teams and playoff position or anything.
No, we didn't do none of that. I mean, the West ain't really get into it yet. He was waiting for All-Star.
I've been keeping up before the All-Star break. I kind of watched a few more games, and when I looked at the East, I was saying to myself that I still see a lot of things that can shift around between 1 and 5. Really. I think the Bucks are a 5 seed right now, but I could see them moving up higher. I could see 76ers or the Bulls even getting back into that spot. Anybody can move up, but I also know that
Miami's 1 right now.
They're tied with the Bulls. Miami and Bulls are
Miami the Bulls are tied.
But
then I got the Nets.
Don't get disillusioned. It's only 25 games left, even though it's just All-Star game. It's not half the season. 3/4
of the season is gone. I know. We almost done.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Yeah, so, that's right.
And when I look below the Mendoza line, I still think the Knicks and the Wizards have a shot to get back in it, possibly.
Whoa.
Now Bill's gone for the year, right?
Who? Yeah, Bradley Beal. Yeah, but they only 1 game out.
Yeah, but they've been sliding. That's all because they've been sliding.
Yeah, I know he's going.
And I have no faith in my Knicks, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have no faith in the Knicks.
I'm trying to put the Knicks back in it because they looked so good last year. It's just such a drop off from last year to this year. It just didn't make any sense. But the West, really, to me, the Suns, Warriors, and Grizzlies, those are the best 3 teams in the West, and I don't see that changing.
The great thing about the Suns, even though Chris Paul is out 6 to 8 weeks, they can go 500 the rest of the way and still win 60 games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, that's a beautiful position to be in.
Yep.
Man,
And I
don't know what
expect
y'all
them to
talking
fall
about.
off.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Man, LeBron and Russ about to get it together and make this run, y'all. I'm telling you, it's about to go down. Last 25 games. Come on, man. You know, a little 10-game winning streak right fast, you know. Yeah, no.
10-game winning streak.
Yeah, I was just.
You better try 3. I mean, because getting that 1 may be kind of rough. Then we get 2 maybe. So
I don't even see it.
No, I was messing around. There's no way.
I don't even see it.
There's
I
no
don't
way.
see much changing there. I think it's a wrap. The West got 3. It's a 3-team race.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna because Dallas has been surging, and Denver is getting healthy too.
What's up with Jamal Murray?
He's
I was
supposed
just
to be
about
coming
to
back.
ask that. Yeah, when's he coming back?
I want to say next month. They're saying so if he can come back and contribute, I mean they've been surging too.
Yeah.
If he comes back, if Murray could come back, he would definitely be a thorn in like a Grizzlies side, like a 3-6 matchup. That would be a problem for the Grizzlies. But I'm looking at the Mavericks and who they'd have to play. I don't really think anybody thinks that the Mavericks gonna really be able to beat the Suns or the Warriors.
I don't think so either.
So and then we look. I'm not even paying attention to 7, 8, 9, and 10. Because those are the play-in games, which really are egregious. We should not play those games. We should not play the play-in games.
No, I like it. I like it. Actually.
Killing my man.
I like it.
I do too. We said it last
man.
year. We said we liked it last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing my
I
man.
mean, because from 12 in, you got a shot. Because even though we're saying the Knicks got a shot, they do, but whatever. But at least these teams legitimately got a shot, and anything can happen. But it's top heavy. Like the top teams are gonna make it. Like the East is stacked, but in the West, it's either gonna be the Grizzlies, Golden State, and like you said, Phoenix. I think those are 3. And don't sleep on the Grizzlies, yo. I mean,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like them too.
Gotta like
who is it? I guess who the top 3 MVP candidates?
I think Embiid has it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think Embiid.
But Ja can jump in there.
Yeah, I thought Embiid, John Moran, and DeRozan would be the 3 that I would say.
I don't think we're talking enough about DeRozan though.
Yeah, I think if he continues, they're going to. And if Chicago does something significant, like they close out the rest of the year looking good, I think so. He's doing.
But it's definitely Embiid to lose.
Well,
Embiid,
actually, James Harden could be the one to win it or lose it. Depending on how they mesh.
That's a good point. Because if he got enough quarters in his back, like he normally does, James Harden, he gonna be dribbling and dribbling and dribbling and dribbling.
Yep.
The quarters don't run out. He just keep dribbling.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a big point. Big point.
Very good point.
Did you guys discuss that matchup? Did we discuss that?
No.
How do you think that's gonna go?
It's a 50-50 chance. It could be poetry in motion, or it could be a total disaster. Yeah. And really, because Embiid has to like Embiid's blessing is also his curse, right? Like, so for me, I think Embiid would be more successful if he stopped taking threes. I get what the game is like now and what you got to do, but when your big man takes a 3 like that, I just think that plays right into the defense's hands, because we've already discussed that there's not a person in the league that can handle Embiid in the low post. So when he becomes a 3-point shooter, he's just doing the defense a favor, right? If he makes it, he made a 3-pointer, but half the time he's gonna miss, and he's not drawing a foul against anybody. He's not getting a putback in or anything like that. He's just not close to the basket. And James Harden got to have the ball outside of the key. So if Embiid is floating around the 3-point line and Harden is outside the key, because Harden don't move without the ball. That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball can stay put, and so that could be the disaster part. So I think if he goes inside, it's a good thing, and if he plays outside, it could be negative for them.
And you can't lose sight of all they gave up. They gave up a lot, and they don't have that. Like Seth, that shooting, they don't have that extra body to spell Embiid. They don't have that anymore, and they have to. What's the chemistry going to be like? How soon are they going to be able to create that? And how long is it? It's going to be very, very interesting to watch, yo. And Wes hit it on the head. It's either going to be poetry in motion or an explosion, a complete mess.
I think it's going to be, I think it's a trial for these 25 games. And I think Doc Rivers is going to lose his job because of it. That's what is going to happen.
But the smoke
works because Harden likes to pick and roll. Embiid doesn't roll. He pops. He's a pick and pop guy. That doesn't, like you said, Wes. That doesn't work with Harden. And we've seen that. Doc Rivers lets his stars, he lets them play. He
tries to let them figure it out.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you have that hands-off approach, you end up losing your job.
Yep.
Yeah, and the smoke I'm hearing is that they got D'Antoni in the wings.
They got him waiting.
That's the word on the street. And D'Antoni and Embiid, I don't see that.
Yeah, but it makes sense because it's D'Antoni and Morley.
Harden and Morey.
And Morey.
Morey, excuse me.
Yeah,
that's what
all three of them.
That's the
yeah.
But that would make your best player's life miserable.
That's horrible.
Yeah, because we know D'Antoni don't like big men, so he's not going to draw anything up where Embiid is Goldstein or playing to a strength.
He have Embiid shooting threes all game.
Yeah.
So does Embiid eventually get traded out of Philly?
He might ask for one. But who knows what happen?
Groundwork. You just got to say you having some mental issues. They can't find you. You just sit till you get traded.
Mm-hmm.
And Embiid know how to go to social media. He could get dirty.
Yeah. It could get dirty with it. It could get really nasty if Embiid is unhappy.
Yeah, It could get ugly for everybody. So,
like the NBA would have to step in if Embiid is unhappy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like even that was another discussion we had about Embiid. My godson, he was talking about his skill set and how who can shoot threes like him and handle the ball. And I said again, Wilt Chamberlain could do a lot of those things. I said, but in today's game, they want him to do that. But in reality, he's helping the opponent by doing that because there are no centers in the league that can guard him. Mm-hmm. So you give everybody a chance when you let him shoot those things. It's like, man, you just give everybody it's open season on him now. Because Giannis, I saw Giannis just gets out his way. Giannis don't want no parts of Embiid in that block on that block. Yeah, but put him on the perimeter. He's like, okay, I can guard him out here.
You should show the young man footage of Wilt Chamberlain just draining 3-pointers, sky hook style, one after another. Like they could definitely do it. That just wasn't the game. That wasn't the game.
Wasn't the game. So I actually would not mind seeing Philly come out of the East. I'd like to see Embiid play on that big stage. I really think that he would show out because that's the type of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they have enough depth now. I just don't.
I like Maxey too, man. I think Maxey's a good player.
I really like Maxey. He's a Energizer Bunny. He's nice. He's a scorer.
I like him.
I like Maxey. I mean, I think I think the Nets, man, are going to come out of the East just because I think they set it up, where they take out one of those high seeds in the first round of the playoffs. I like where they're sitting. And you see Ben Simmons, the first thing the Nets did with him was put him with Kyle Korver, a shooting coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why no other genius thought of that before. Hey, put him with a shooting coach.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. What's his name? Broussard was saying he couldn't believe that Ben Simmons had never been with a shooting coach before. He was the shooting drill that he watched him do. Broussard said he did it in college.
Yeah.
So he said if he was doing that same drill, he knows at some point Ben Simmons had to be shown that drill. Now, what does that mean in terms of him taking something seriously or the drill sticking? No.
Or accepting coaching.
Now, Broussard said when he did that drill that you saw,
we do. Hey, look,
he said his jumper turned wet.
I do it with kids in camp, showing them how to shoot. It's one of the basic shooting drills you do. But a lot of these guys, because they're so good, so skilled, coaches don't work on the basics with them. So maybe he didn't do it. I've had college coaches come to the gym and we're doing a basic. It was mic and drill, but it was a little something different. I used to do it with 2 basketballs, and the college coach said to me, "Hey, I never seen that before, never thought of that." And I'm like, "Damn, you coaching the ACC? This ain't something genius. Like, it's kind of basic." So a lot of things you think a player should have gone through, or a coach would have done with them,
they're not doing it.
They're not doing because the guys are so good and can play, and they're producing in games. You're not working on that.
Yeah, Ben Simmons was putting his videos out in the off season when he was shooting jumpers. Those are going viral.
Yeah,
but he
was just shooting. He never worked on his form.
He
did what we do now, Wes. He just went out and started shooting.
But he now has a level of comfortability being with the Nets and Patty Mills and Marks, because those are all Australian cats. And he may be lazy, but he got Patty Mills who will be on him, and apparently they went to like grade school together.
Patty is like big bro to him.
Yeah, so they knew each other from when he was that young, I guess. But
that's gonna be key for him. Somebody that's gonna be in his face and say, keep him. He's got to be held accountable. That's all he got to do. You just got to hold him accountable. If you hold him accountable, I think he can get through whatever demons he got to get through. But he got to do it. Like, you're not gonna be able to run around accountability, man. You just got to go and be accountable. And
I think the Patty Mills and the Marks thing is huge. But I also think the way Embiid handles guys, everybody can't take that. He's not a bully, but he actually does it.
We all know an Embiid though. Still, everybody has an Embiid the story. Like guys that act like that, like they just jerks. They're gonna keep needling you and needling you and needling you, and then some guys are really good, and then they can't play because the needling gets under their skin, and then he'll make the game, and Embiid will make the game worse because of the stuff he says. So he just messes up the whole flow. I get it. I get the whole thing. It's just, but Simmons still has to understand that in that moment, in those moments, he wasn't even a 10-10-10 guy.
Right.
We didn't need him to be a 20-30 point guy. We need him to be a 10-point guy.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. And he didn't do that. That's it. So Embiid is wrong, but right. It's all about proximate cause, right? Proximate cause. What was the cause of all this drama?
Yeah, I think he's going to be really good with the Nets.
I do too. I think he's going to be better.
The structure is there. The comfortability, which is everything.
Yep. And Steve Nash is a different type of dude too, right?
And he fits.
I think he brings a level of defense to the Nets.
He guards 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Well, that's what they needed.
I think Kevin Durant is going to help him with that too, because Kevin Durant is an underrated defender. Like for me, I think Kevin Durant is a really good defender in my mind.
I agree.
But people don't really put him up there as one of the better defenders. Kevin Durant gives maximum effort on defense when he plays, especially in the postseason.
Yeah,
so you know, I look at Kevin Durant as a really good defender, and then him being 6'10", not too much smaller than Kevin Durant, and he's so long. If they could get on the wings and just cause havoc on the wings with their length, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. That front line, their length is really a problem. 6'10", 7 foot, and what's Claxton? 6'10", 6'11"?
He's like 6'10", yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and Claxton's like a young JaVale McGee.
Clog that lane up too with length.
And you bringing in Drummond, who's 6'10", you know, a guy who's going to rebound, terrible in the pick and roll defensively, but plays well in the low post and rebounds. The Nets, they got what they needed, man. I think the Sixers handed them the championship.
Yeah, if it all fits together, I mean, if they all can get on the floor and stay healthy on the floor together, it should be a nice mixture, all pieces fitting perfectly together.
Yep.
And I just hope Ben Simmons his head is straight. I just hope he looked like he's happy. He looked like he's, you know.
I want to see it, man. I really want to see it. You know,
yeah, I want to see it. I think I want to see him have some success too. But I know that he got to still address what he got to address. But he's going to be better off where he's at. There's no doubt.
And he needs to play in Philly on what's that? March 10th.
March 11th.
March 11th. And he needs to play. He needs to play in that game.
He needs to play. He needs to hit like 3 threes.
Yeah.
You know.
He needs to dunk. He needs to go to the free throw line and close his eyes.
Yeah.
I think. But you know what? If you look at the East, my dream finals. If the Suns come out of the West, I'd rather see Philly because I really want to see an old school. I think Ayton can mess with Embiid. I would love to see an old school center battle. I think Ayton got the body type and the athleticism to give Embiid problems in a 7-game series, right?
Well, I mean,
and then Brooklyn and Golden State would be my second choice in terms of finals because I like to see Steph and Clay go against Kevin Durant for the championship. And I love to see Kyrie when he sees Steph Curry on the other side of the floor because we all know it's coming in. All hell is going to break loose.
Harlem Globetrotters in effect.
Yeah, that's going to be something special. And Draymond guarding KD.
Yeah. There's a lot of those would be my two to me. Like Phoenix and Brooklyn would be cool, but it wouldn't have as much storylines as Brooklyn and Golden State and maybe a Phoenix and a Philly because Phoenix and Philly would also have Harden and Chris Paul going at it, trying to get So it's just those two combinations I think would be good for the NBA either way if one of those two combinations come into the finals.
Yeah,
I think that would be hot.
I like your picks, Wes. I like them.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna ride with Milwaukee out the East.
They're gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, they are.
They're gonna be tough to beat because they're climbing in the standings and them having home field because their home court advantage is usually significant because they play well at home. That crowd is.
And they're in a nice spot right now. If they stay 3, 4, 5, they don't got to worry about Brooklyn beating them in the first round.
Right.
They can stay away from Brooklyn until they get to the conference finals. So,
and you know what else they did, which was huge and might be overlooked? They just picked up the 2 guys the Nets cut. They picked up DeAndre Bembry and Javon Carter.
Mm-hmm.
They got Bembry?
Yeah, he's with the Bucks now.
And that was I don't know if y'all gonna play, but y'all definitely know what they do and can let us know. So that was just that was
that's gamesmanship right there.
Yeah.
That's gamesmanship right there.
And they added more depth. I mean, that's Milwaukee's stacked.
I mean, Milwaukee's obviously the team to beat, but I was just talking about storylines. I mean, Milwaukee, they the champs. You got to beat the champs, but
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the NBA wants Milwaukee back there because the story just
no juice.
Not exciting.
Yeah, no more juice. No. We did the Giannis thing last year.
Yeah, but
good story.
I mean, when you think about it, the only story is LA. Nowhere else really has a story. Who else in the West has a story? Dallas?
Well, Chris Paul. Phoenix getting there. Him following
Phoenix. Golden State.
Golden State getting that.
Golden State.
Golden State getting
Golden
that.
State definitely has a story.
Yes.
Definitely, because Jalen said something really key, and I think in terms of this, even with the GOAT conversation again, right, and even how things stack up. He said when you look at Magic getting the 9 finals in 12 years or 9 in 13 years, he said, and Jordan winning those 6 finals, 6 years, 3 years, then retirement, 3 years in a row. He said there was nobody else winning when they were playing at that time. It was either them or like he said in the 10 years that LeBron's gotten to the finals, 10 out of 20 years, he's been in the finals 10 years, right? He said in that swing of things, you had Kobe win 2, you had Kevin Durant win 2, you had Steph win 3. He was like, there was a whole bunch of people winning championships during his run, and he's got 4. And if Steph wins a 4th, it's kind of hard to like say he dominated is like his era. It's kind of hard to say that because Steph has gotten 4 in say 14 years, whereas 4 in 20 years, and they both kind of went through rocky times coming into teams that were garbage, right? Steph was fortunate enough to.
And Steph stayed there.
Steph stayed there, so it's just a lot of different. And Jalen Rose just said, "I'm just bringing all this up because he said I'm bringing all this up, but still at the end of the day, I played against Jordan." I played against Kobe and I played against LeBron. And he said, no matter if the fans want to believe me or not, he's like, I think that the people that played against the 3 guys would understand what we're talking about. That's what he said. So it was like one of those, but that was interesting to see that, like, because nobody won but Jordan outside of those 6 years. Like, there was no shot. It was just nobody was going to win. There was nobody else that won in that 6 years.
But when you look at LeBron, you're looking at a 20-year career. Like you're looking at a whole career. With Jordan, you look at.
Oh no, I get it. But what I'm saying, even with Magic can line up better with LeBron because Magic did something 9 times in 13 years, where LeBron did it 10 and 20, and it's still significant, right? And Magic won 5 of those 9 times. That's still.
But circumstances, no doubt. Circumstances are so different in terms of the 80s, the league, the level of basketball. Well, the only circumstances
to me that are different besides the evolution of the game is the fact that Magic and Jordan stayed put and LeBron didn't. Yeah, the game changed, but those guys stayed in one spot and he moved. Yeah,
I just
was moving the chess pieces around.
I don't like pretty much when you I don't like the you're in a whack. You go to a whack organization when you're 17 years old because everybody's supposed to say you could have been like, you know what, fuck that shit. I'm not going to Cleveland.
Nah. Jalen Rose made another good point. Let me finish. Jalen Rose also said that if he stayed in Miami, if he stayed in Miami for 7 years or 8 years, instead of winning 2 and 4 and got 4 and 6 or 5 and 8 years, it would be a drop dead no brainer because he was able to do it in that city in a 5-year span. Two in Miami is really not doing anything.
Right. I'm not talking about who the GOAT is or who's not the GOAT, or because you already Kareem's the GOAT and Mike.
No. I'm just saying in terms of
how people look at it is just weird because it's like who you play for is such like it's a personal fucking decision.
No. And Miami is a good decision. Why he went to Miami? We got over that, right?
But even going back to Cleveland, like you go back to Cleveland and you win a chip. Playing for this raggedy ass organization. You know what I'm saying? And then you go, you know what? This again, I did what I was expected to do, win a chip for this raggedy ass organization. But this ain't where I really want to be. I got business out here. I'm gonna go out there. And then win a chip.
I don't know if Cleveland, when Dan Gilbert bought the Cavaliers, I think he changed that from it being a raggedy organization.
Yeah, and I know he definitely wouldn't mind being in Cleveland right now instead of LA.
I don't think
he's already campaigning to go back to that whack bummy organization.
He better hope Cleveland won.
I don't think it's perceived as that.
They're gonna be balling for years, yo.
It's one of the better organizations now in the league.
Now, I mean,
I'm saying since Dan Gilbert has been the owner, Dan Gilbert changed that. He definitely changed that.
When it was the Gund Arena, it was heading down.
No. I got you, but LeBron James was a big part of that developmental process. You know what I'm saying? So,
but
like,
yeah, we can't do that either. Because what happened was Cleveland was good. Remember when Jordan was playing? Cleveland was actually good.
Yeah, Cleveland
they just
was great,
ran up against Jordan.
And then after Jordan left, what happened?
They went down for a few years.
Okay.
And Gilbert bought the team.
Okay.
And that's when they started.
And that's why they were able to get LeBron, because they were trash.
Right.
And he built it. And he built it.
Right.
But
you get to a point where you go, you know what? This is not going to work here. Where I need to go and what I'm trying to do is not going to work here.
And he went to Miami. And he went to Miami.
And then I lived out my obligation.
Yeah.
But you know why I didn't
now
work
it's time
in
for
Cleveland?
me. Like when I live out, like cats who worm their way out of a deal or sit the bench, I'm not going to play. That's different than somebody who lives out there. He plays out his contract and he delivers a championship.
But
like,
you know why I didn't work in Cleveland?
I'm not going to hold that against him. That doesn't mean he's the GOAT to me. That just means
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like we're talking about the significance of like other people winning in like whose era is it, right? Like they were saying like whose era could it be in this era? And I brought that question up, and I think it's a fair question. If Steph Curry wins another championship, do you really say that it was whose era is it? That's all I'm asking, and I think it's a fair question.
And that's really valid because
I'm just asking that question.
He would have 4, and you would assume he would get this MVP, but
yeah,
and he's undoubtedly the greatest shooter God ever created. He has a 3-point record that none of us will be alive if anyone breaks it. So, is it really LeBron's era?
That's what I was asking. I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying that you got 4 guys. You got 2 guys. Well, one has got. I just asked the question. And then when you add Durant's 2 rings, and you add Kobe's 2 rings, and it was like a whole bunch of people just won championships during this run. That's what I was asking.
Whose era is Wilton Bills?
Wilton Bills.
Russell. It was like basically it was Bill Russell for the most part. Magic and Bird. I mean, there were 8 championships won in 10 years, and it was one of those 2 in those 10 years.
We were back in the 60s.
Yep.
When you think of the 60s, right?
Yep.
You got Will Chamberlain, you got Bill Russell, and you say it's Bill's era.
It was,
but you look at their statistics, their points, their rebounds across the board. You see how many times MVPs.
It was Wilt, right? But Wilt had a better stats. And even if you look at Jerry West as another good example, because Jerry West went to 9 finals and won once.
When you look at the 60s and the NBA was the Boston Celtics.
The one person.
Huh?
Say is championships is team basketball. It's like when we Jerry West only won. He was on 9, but he only won 1.
No, I'm just saying how crazy it is that Jerry West went to 9 finals. I think it's incredible that he went to 9 finals. What I'm saying is that it's so hard to do it, but he only won once. And we're sitting there saying, man, Jerry West went to 9 finals. That's not easy to do. Yeah. That he just is not, because you're right, it is a team game. So, but you were also a few minutes ago saying he delivers a chip. So if it's a team game, you got to be around a good team to deliver that chip too.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no.
For sure. It's not just him coming to that scenario and winning. No. You got to be surrounded by good people as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
To maximize your ability. Right?
1,000%. No, 1,000%.
But I want to know the answer to that question though, because I don't know the answer to that. If Steph wins this year, it clouds up a whole lot of stuff for me. That's just my personal opinion.
But even like when I think of this particular era. I mean, it's LeBron, but it's also KD. It's also Steph. It's also
Kawhi won 2.
Kawhi.
It's like so many dudes.
Right.
Won a lot of rings.
That's the level of talent and the parity around the league that didn't exist in the 90s.
But I think that's the point.
In the 80s, you had Boston
is making. In all the other eras, there wasn't an also. There was just that dude. That guy, There was no also him, also him, also him. When it was Jordan, it was Jordan. There was nobody else you bring in the conversation.
It was a 10-year dominance where it was Jordan or nothing. And obviously it was like the first couple years for him to get there. And then
Which was
it
the
was
80s.
all him, and he took the years off in between.
Yeah, no, I mean, motherfuckers got AIDS.
And when in the 80s, it was Magic and Bird.
It was Magic and Bird. And to say there was really no competition in the 80s, that's disrespecting Isaiah and the Pistons. They were there. Dr. J was there. Moses was there.
I didn't say there was no competition. I didn't say there was no competition.
Parity.
No, I just say there was parity in terms of when you look at the 80s, you're looking at Boston and LA, and you have Philly, and you have Houston. But you really talk that decade was Boston. And Detroit, but that decade was Boston and LA. Either both of them are going, or one.
It was because of those guys, but typically it was because of those two players. Why it was Boston and LA, Magic and Bird. And when Jordan was playing in that 10-year span, that 6 years in particular, it was because of Jordan. And like this, like when LeBron makes to the finals, it's typically because of LeBron, right? Or well, when Miami was LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, but that's another. And then but I'm just saying typically what it is. But I think that overall, if
Kareem
you have a guy,
Kareem had a lot to do with them chips, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely, he did.
But
it
still was considered Bird and Magic.
And Magic. Because Kareem was 38 years old.
Because that's commercialism. That's motherfucking selling you products. That's selling you sneakers, hamburgers, and hot dogs. We'll put this commercial.
No, it's also
Mike. It's the way
it's also Magic winning it his rookie year when Kareem was out. That's what said it. And
it's all. But then we get to a point where it's tragic magic, and the shit flips, and like it's storylines, narratives is what we buy into. Yes,
and that's what Wes is talking about. What's going to be the storyline and narrative of this time? Is it going to be LeBron and going to 9 straight or whatever it was?
Yeah, 9 straight.
Well, winning 4 in 9. Or is it going to be Steph winning 4 in
14 years, 15 years?
So what's going to be the narrative? What's going to be the storyline? And I think it's very compelling.
When did LeBron come to the league? 2003, right?
Yeah.
And Steph came.
Yeah, Steph came in 2008, I think, or 2007 or 2008. Yeah.
So it is a compelling storyline and argument of how that narrative is, because Steph will go down as the greatest shooter ever.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
LeBron will go, and I was having this conversation with my father, who was who saw Oscar, who saw all these guys, and the reason I'm a Lakers fan because he was such a Kareem fan, about what is LeBron great at besides his longevity, his ability to play at a high level for a long time. What one skill is he great at compared to every other great player we've talked about during whatever decade it is, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s? What one skill is he great at?
Can I answer that?
Of course, it's open.
I don't know if it's a skill, but he reminds me of Shaq in this way. It's his dominance, how he dominates the game.
And that's why my question was, what one skill, one basketball skill is he great at?
Nothing. It's just his. I mean, overall, I mean, he's
an all-round talent.
He's blessed with that body, and then
his biggest attribute is his availability. That's always been his
longevity.
His longevity,
right? Yeah. His longevity and physical ability,
conditioning.
Yes, and that is why your point is valid, Wes, because Steph is great at something. He will go down as the greatest shooter. Jordan will go down as the greatest scorer. You know, these
Bill Russell will go down as the greatest winner.
Well, Bill Russell will also go down as probably the greatest defender.
Yeah, well, yeah, winner and defender.
He blocked shots and he rebounded. I'm just talking about skills here.
Magic will probably go down as the greatest playmaker.
Passer. Skill.
Yeah, passer.
And Kareem obviously had the most unstoppable shot, the sky hook, obviously, and he obviously is the point.
Jordan was to probably go down as the best closer or finisher or clutch. That's what Jordan will probably go down as. Most likely.
And I don't think anyone ever thinks about it from just a basketball skill standpoint.
We know that, it's so funny you say that because that was a Facebook post this week. It said, pull it up right now. And it had the best and then the runner up at everything we just exactly what you just said. It's crazy that you said it. GOAT. It says GOAT by category. So the best playmaker passer was Magic, with the runner-up being Stockton, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They said the best defender was Bill Russell, with the runner-up being Hakim Olajuwon. I disagree with that one because to me personally, I didn't see Russell play, but I'll accept that he was a great defender. I saw Olajuwon play, but I think to me the best defensive player I ever seen play was Dennis Rodman. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion. Rodman.
I agree.
Right? The best coach was Phil Jackson. Runner-up was Red Auerbach. Right? Best winner was.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Best coach was who?
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson.
Runner-up was Red Auerbach.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's part of the package.
Yeah. Best winner was Russell. Jordan was runner-up. Big man was Kareem. Wilt was runner-up. Shooter was Steph. Ray Allen was runner-up. And then player was Jordan. And LeBron was runner-up. So I was looking at that. The only thing I had a problem was with Rodman. Like I felt like Rodman was freaking a beast on defense.
Yeah, because Rodman could guard 1 through 5.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Is scoring the ball a skill?
They didn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah. Because I know we threw out like dominance, some other things, and coach made it clear. The question was skill. And if you say scoring the ball, then LeBron is great at scoring the ball.
He wouldn't be considered the greatest, though.
I'm not saying he's the greatest, but the question was, what skill are you great at?
I wouldn't consider him a great scorer.
No.
He defers too much. His mentality is not for that.
You're right. And even that, he's gonna eclipse Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Y'all be buggy, yo. He said he's not a great scorer. He defers too much. Yeah,
He's eclipsing based on what I
said.
His longevity.
Yeah.
And he also has the 3-pointer. I don't even like the whole.
Yeah, but he's averaging how many assists? His total assist over career is gonna put him like,
he's gonna have 30. He's gonna have 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists in his career. But what I would say to that, but you're saying it like that. What bugs me about that reaction is that when Westbrook does it, he's a stat monger. This is a stat generated basketball league now. So stats are
right. But I got you right. But the thing we don't like him as a scorer because he defers too much, because he's thinking team basketball and sometimes too much. Right? Yes, sometimes too much. But he's thinking about making the right play.
Yeah.
More so. A lot of times it is stat stuffing. Of course it is. I would fucking stat stuff too if I can go down history. I'd do that shit, wouldn't you? So I'm not mad at him.
No, I'm just saying that it's a stat stuffing basketball stat stuffing now in terms of the league, the way it's played now. Like the reason that guards grab so many rebounds is because big men aren't in there clogging it up anymore. You don't have a 4 and a 5 in the middle, so the lane is wide open. So guards get in there and they go rebound. So the way the game is played really is conducive to why the stats are way up. They don't play defense, so more people score.
It's a different game. But LeBron has been doing this over a 20 years.
20 years.
And which is why he is where he is.
Right.
20 years. Because availability.
His availability. That body that he's taking care of keeps him on the court, keeps him playing, keeps him scoring 25 a game.
Right, but I'm just saying there's levels of execution that even though you can stay in the league for 20 years, doesn't mean you're going to be 40,000, 10,000, 10,000. No, you can stay in the league that long and not right. That's what I'm saying.
Because he's
we're talking about the air up here, right? We're talking about the air up here. We're talking about him when you get this is what people gotta understand. When you're talking about people up here, you can't compare them to people down here. We're comparing them to the greatest of all time, right? So the argument gets tougher as you get higher, right? So when I look at basketball, I look at somebody who has zero. When I say zero flaws, Jordan had no flaws on the basketball court. They all lose. Everybody loses in the championship because of the team game. But in terms of his game, he had zero flaws. Zero. Yes. That's it. Zero. Right? Kobe had, if he had a flaw, it was minuscule, but he had very few flaws in his game that you could actually point out. But when you get up here, I will critique Kobe fairly, because you get up here, you can't have on your resume that you quit in a game 7 in a Western Conference final. You can't have that against Phoenix. You can't have that on your resume. That's part of your resume because you're being compared to the guys up here. We don't care if James Harden and Kobe quit, because James Harden and Kobe. That's it. So we compare Kobe to guys like Jordan and Kareem and these guys are Magic. So we got to keep him up here. With LeBron, it's the same thing. We can't dumb down the argument and not factor in all the little points like free throw shooting, the fact that he can't shoot free throws, the fact that we talk about Kareem didn't take a 3-pointer. Again, that has to be in the argument because, again, we're comparing him to somebody that's as great as him and accomplished as much as him. So you can't change the argument to fit when he has flaws in his game, right? We can't say he doesn't have flaws. Okay, if anybody disagrees that he doesn't have a flaw that you've seen, because I've seen plenty of them, but he's still great. Doesn't mean he's not great. Doesn't mean he's not great.
Right, and everybody's has flaws, right? Everybody.
No, but I'm saying in their game,
everybody. No, everybody does.
In the 80s, Jordan didn't have no flaws.
No.
Before Phil Jackson triangle, it was
No. You're not catching it.
Didn't have any flaws.
Jordan at his height had zero flaws in his height. Like when he decided to.
Yes,
I preface it by saying they all took their lumps. When you looked at Jordan's game, he had when like he's saying, it's zero flaws you can see.
Right.
We still looking at his game 20 years in, right? We're in year 18. Yeah. We still see flaws.
Right. At his height.
Okay, so we're in year 17 and we still see flaws. Or 18. What year are we in now? 18, 19? We still see flaws.
Okay.
You don't? I'm just asking you, I'm just saying, comparing it again. The argument is about Jordan, Wilt, Kobe, Shaq.
The argument is not about that. The argument be about Jordan and LeBron.
Well, for me, it's not. It's not for me. No, it's not. Not for me. Because I have Kobe. I have Kobe ahead of LeBron too. That's just me. But that's not for me. That's what I'm saying personally. Because again, somebody had no flaws. And somebody has no flaws against somebody that has flaws. That's me. I'm just saying. So it's not just for me. Like, it's not just the argument Jordan and LeBron, because he surpassed somebody that I feel he shouldn't have surpassed in an argument. And there's plenty of people that played the game in a high position that agree with that fact. So it's like
no. A lot of people in that position that agree with that opinion. That's
that opinion. Excuse me.
Right.
Well, that opinion.
Right.
Factually, there's some things.
You could discuss the facts, but at the end of the day, this conversation is all subjective.
That is an opinion.
Right. That's an opinion.
What I will say is, it's not just about
LeBron, because LeBron's not on my GOAT list. LeBron's not the GOAT. So
no. And I get
I just give you what people like when people talk. Like for me, Kareem is the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll never nitpick Kareem at all, even though he went from Milwaukee to LA for reasons. It's
But
all
here's the next one, no flaws.
There was times when Kareem they said he was loafing, he was lazy. There was some things about Kareem that was real. Now as you know, with 20 years removed, 30 years removed, so we look at Kareem different than the people who looked at Kareem coming off of Wilt. Difference. People who coming off of Wilt had critiques and criticisms of Kareem that we'll never have.
Yeah,
people that thought what?
Kareem.
When you coming off of Wilt Chamberlain, right? If
Yeah.
you're coming off of Wilt Chamberlain, you're a really big Wilt Chamberlain fan, right? And you remember Kareem coming into the league, really being set up to take the throne from Wilt Chamberlain, right?
And he did.
And eventually, he did. In the first 2 years, he didn't. Wilt killed Kareem. Kareem had to be developed, and it was still a young man coming out of college. Wilt was still toward the end of his pinnacle,
And that's fair.
It was and it's fair, but it's still a critique that certain people have of Kareem because they were there to see it. It's just the circumstances that were there at the time. In hindsight, for us, I look at Kareem as the GOAT, where somebody who maybe a generation ahead might not see it that way. That's all I'm saying. We don't nitpick Kareem. We don't nitpick other people like we nitpick LeBron. We just don't.
No, see that, and that's where I disagree with you. Because they did actually everything you mentioned about Kareem was nitpicking, saying that he was lazy, saying he wasn't physical. That was nitpicking because he actually had no flaws to his game.
How long did Kareem play?
21 years.
21 years.
Who has the most points in NBA history?
Kareem.
Do we ever say it's a longevity award?
Of course, that's how he got to scoring time.
We don't discount the fact that he's the leading scorer in NBA history because he played 20 years. We don't do that.
Who wouldn't know? I don't understand.
Because you just did that to LeBron.
We just did that to LeBron.
Did that to LeBron.
We did do that.
That's not what I did to LeBron.
But
let Cliff finish.
Let Cliff.
But if we had that conversation, if we were talking about it, we would absolutely say that about Kareem because we saw it. I remember when Kareem was averaging 12 and just filling up stats. I remember that. I remember
Kareem is last.
I don't ever remember LeBron averaging 12.
Well, I'm just saying.
I wish you.
But what you just said,
averaging 29
but listen, what you just said.
Come on, y'all.
What you just said was that we would never bring up Kareem as a longevity award, and we would if we were really talking in depth about it. But if we're going to talk about Kareem, we're not going to stop on anything.
When you start to argue about you have to get down to all the fine tooth things, and you can't push anything to the side. That's all I'm saying.
You can only run that scoring. You can only get that record if it's longevity.
You play that long.
Yeah.
You got to play that long.
No doubt. You got to play that long and play that good.
Right. And that's
and play that
difference.
Good,
I think
long.
the separation that I think Wes and I were talking about between Kareem's 20 years and LeBron's 20 years is Kareem did it strictly on 1 and 2 point baskets.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you start the nitpicking there. 1 and 2s compared to 1, 2s, and 3s.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. When you really want to talk about scoring, you have to look at Jordan's numbers because
Jordan got 38,000 in 14 years.
In 14
years.
Jordan
and he played college.
He might have hit 45, 50,000 had he played the same amount.
He played
of time.
College.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, it's not about any one of their, but it's not about their accomplishments.
And I do think that playing college basketball under Dean Smith gives you somewhat of an advantage when you come to the pros. I just do.
Yeah, but
I just do.
But that was a choice that they both had opportunity, like you said, with free agency, after contract. He wanted to go to college, one didn't. One wanted to go right to the NBA. I'm not mad at either one.
No, right. I just don't, it's.
Yeah, but
I'm saying that's 3 years of his
6 of one, half it does the other.
That 3 years
that's
is
3 years of him
9,000
playing
points.
at 17 to 20 with those young legs of scoring points. That's all I'm saying. Whereas Jordan was in college for 3 years, not being elite, not playing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, those 3 years Jordan was in college is another 9,000 points Jordan would have had.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're looking at.
And then he retired in 17 years instead of 20.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know what a 17, 18-year-old Michael Jordan coming to the NBA would. I just don't know. Nobody knows. Like,
no, we don't
know. You don't know.
That's real.
It's a whole nother world. Know.
But what we all can assume is that if Jordan played 20 years, just like you had that slight realization a couple minutes ago, Hawk, he would be topping 50,000 points. And I saw your face when he said it, and you started to think about it. You were like, yeah, probably.
How about we take away? Let's take away the Wizards, right? What if Jordan played those 2 years? What if Jordan played the 2 years that he missed when the Houston Rockets won? Let's just call that 6,000 points. He'd be at 45,000 if he just played those 2 years.
Yeah.
The 2 years that he skipped, the 2 year sabbatical, we can't argue that he wasn't. He left at the top of his game, came back, and left at the top of his game before he went to the Wizards. Right?
How many assists and rebounds?
I don't know because I know he averaged. I just know he averaged 5 and 5. That's about all I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was dominant. He was
that's what I'm saying. It's like I got you. It's points and like again, my even LeBron surpassing Kareem in the points list doesn't make him the GOAT for me.
No, it doesn't.
Kareem had the most unstoppable shot. If you got the most unstoppable shot, then what else does it say? You can't stop that. Like stop it. Like you can't stop. So
and you have to depend on that guy with the ball like LeBron to give it to you. So your touches are limited, right? So you don't have the touches that the average person gets. And again, I want to preface this by making it clear, Hawk, that what I'm talking about is when you start to talk about all these guys, the argument has to be nitpicky to separate them. It has to be. It has to be fair, but it has to be critical because we talk about small slices, like this separation is so minuscule to each person, right? There because they're all great. They're all great in their own mind, right? And what they've accomplished. But there's something there that has to be discussed, and it gets critical because of who we're talking about. Is the air up there? That's just how it is. That's how I look at it.
Splitting hairs. It's just splitting hairs.
It's split, because you have to split hairs because it doesn't become.
Motherfuckers don't be acting like it though.
I think we're being fair with it. I don't think it's an attack. I think that when you just can't drop the crown in somebody's lap. You've got to discuss it and find out how it got there. That's all I'm saying. Properly.
Right. And all I know is what I was told. Excuse me, not what I know. What I read. What I've told it was confirmed that 16-year-old LeBron James in the basketball game with Michael Jordan, and he was busting up jokers so bad that Michael Jordan said he's the one.
Yeah, he said he's next. That's great.
I heard that too.
And to be able to do it, that's amazing to me. Like he did it. I'm not comparing him to Jordan. I'm not saying he took Jordan's crown. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when the GOAT, when the king, when the top of the joint says he's next, and you walk into that and carry it through, that's
it's dope.
And he also said Kwame Brown was next, so I don't know about
Huh? What you say?
He said Jordan said Kwame Brown was next too, but.
Not because Kwame Brown was busting jokers up in the game of you know what I mean? Like it's not the same thing.
Well, I agree with you. I think it is dope that he had all these expectations and these high lofty goals and dreams, and he fulfilled them. He fulfilled them without a doubt. But that doesn't make him Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan developed the jumps after he broke his ankles. No, but I like I said, it's not about you just in special company, in rare company, and that's just what it is at this stage. But when I look at the game, basketball game, I don't see numbers all the time because I still remember, like I said, Game 7, Celtics LA, Kobe was 6 for 24, and all the stat people were talking about Kobe was 6 for 24. He's garbage. but Kobe was also 8 for 9 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line, and held the ball because he wanted the ball in his hands and was making those free throws and made the pass to Artest to win the game. So he still made the basketball play. So and he had 14 rebounds. So in my mind, he made all the right plays to win a championship, right? So it was winning basketball. He had a bad shooting day, but like LeBron does, you have to figure a way to win a game in another way, right? Yeah. So that's a complete player. It's not about being 6 for 24. I seen LeBron go 9 for 29. Does that mean anything? No, it means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing. How else are
you going to affect the game to win?
Yeah, I'm not going to criticize him for making 20 shots because I know those 9 shots he made were probably big buckets that they needed. Mm-hmm. I mean, or momentum changers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
and sometimes people just don't have it that night.
Yeah,
sometimes people just don't. It's a bad night. That person just doesn't have that. What you're expecting from them, they don't have that tonight.
That's why Kawhi Leonard is a good example for my argument about the air up there, right? Kawhi is ridiculously dope, right? But the fact that he gets game managed and way he goes about how he approaches the game, I can never put him on a pedestal with a lot of these other dudes. Like, did we mention him in that generation? We mentioned Durant, we mentioned Steph, and we mentioned Embiid. Kawhi got 2 rings, and nobody's saying nothing about Kawhi.
Kawhi came up. But injuries. He's been out of sight, out of mind.
It's not just injury; it's game management, flow management too.
Yeah, it's more low management.
It's big on that.
Yeah,
I mean, you playing 31 minutes.
He's a part.
Yeah, it's like 54 games, 31 minutes a game.
Well, he's fragile. He's trying to give you something over the. I mean, trying to stay in the league.
But when we argue again, right?
I think Grant Hill should have been on the 75 list. People go, all right, too many injuries. All right, he wouldn't play enough. I'm like, yo, but so-called eye test. Sometimes you just know how
Grant Hill should have been. Is. Grant Hill was a bad man for 6 years. Like Grant Hill for me in basketball is like Don Mattingly in baseball. Like Grant Hill put up numbers in basketball for those first 6 years that the average cat ain't gonna put up from the door, right? And Don Mattingly had probably one of the best stretches from 84 to like 90 or 89 where he was a beast. Like you couldn't get the man out, right? But he won't be looked at as a Hall of Famer, but he had a Hall of Fame 6 years. I mean, ain't nobody do what he did in that 6 years, like even to today. So Grant is like that to me, and he's definitely one of the top 75 players.
Grant was supposed to take over for Jordan.
Yeah, he was that guy.
He was the heir apparent.
He was
that guy. Yes, absolutely. I mean, he was in 4 Final Fours.
Yeah. But back to Kawhi, when Kawhi is healthy and playing, and he's one of the best in the league. He played.
Yeah, I said that. Right? We don't disagree.
Like, just
both ends of the floor too.
Both ends, but he's not always there, right? He's not always available. And you got guys like you saw Jordan and Jordan back in the day, whatever. But these players, even Bird, these cats was on the floor for 38, 39 minutes, giving blood, sweat, and tears. And these guys are playing 54 games, and they got more training, more this, more that, more everything. And they off the court more than the guys that were playing back in the day with nothing.
Yeah, trying to have a 20-year career. How long was Bird's career?
13.
13?
13, yeah.
Hey, look, if Bird would have gotten the same treatment as
10 with a bad back.
Bird needed the same treatment as Kawhi.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had that, my God.
He was playing in them rubber sole Pro-Cats, Converses.
There you go.
No cushioning, no support.
Man. You think about the torture that these brothers was in back in the day.
Yep.
Man, they wish they had sneaker contracts.
Hey, canvas tie, them canvas lace ups.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Jordan, Bird and Magic had your weapons, baby. They had to choose your weapon.
Yeah, they sure did.
That's when the sneaker game started to step up.
Yep.
Choose your weapon.
Yeah. That Dr. J Converse, that was
garbage.
Wow, man. You bust up right. You do the.
But think about it. Who was busting their ankles up? Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. Like there's more knee injuries now than it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's podcast, and they said AD should stop wearing Kobe's, wearing guard sneakers, and put on some 3/4 or some high tops, and maybe he wouldn't sprain his ankle so much. It's like a big man can't wear guard sneakers. They don't move like guards. They in the air all the time. And I was like, that's a good point. Like, why didn't anybody tell him?
Yeah, but even the way he came down, it's like he came down like his ballerina style, like on the top of his toe.
Yeah,
and came over, and all the weight just came down on it. So I don't. He's just awkward. He's just an awkward person.
Yeah. That was a bad fall.
Every game he does something to his wrist or his thumb. Every game.
Every game he falls, you're like, he might be out 2 weeks.
Oh man.
You know.
So yeah, but
go ahead.
No, you first.
No, I was thinking that list has flaws. I was happy to see like they had I don't know if you guys saw the draft that they had. The TNT panel. They took the 75 players and they added 4 wild cards, or 76 players plus 4 people to make them wild cards, so they could have they had to have 8 teams of 10, and then they had Shaq, Kenny, and Charles were a group they were one GM. Jerry West was a GM by himself. Sue Bird was a GM by herself. Dominique Wilkins was a GM by himself. G.L. Hughley was a GM. Quavo was a GM. And they had another panel with D-Wade, Candace Parker, and this white guy that's on TNT Tuesday. They were a GM, right? So they had to pick. They did a snake draft, and Dominique went first and messed up the whole draft because he got the first pick and he took himself.
Hey, great move. You got it.
So he took himself, right? So that kind of messed it up because Jerry West came back and took Kobe as a number 2 pick, and Chris Haynes and this other dude, they were 3rd, and they took Jordan. They took Jordan 3rd. But overall, what happened was my favorite team was Chris Haynes and this other sports reporter, because they got Jordan, Magic, and Bill Russell was their first 3 picks. I was calling that team 22 rings. Like that squad right there was ridiculous. But Quavo's squad was the hottest because Quavo said, if you're going to be on my squad, you got to have that bling. So he had AI and Steph, right? Then he had Dennis Rodman. He had Walt Clyde Frazier. He had it was like all these dudes that are like real quirky, and they got this. Westbrook was on his squad. He was like, everybody gotta have that swag with me. So I forgot some other players that he had, but those are the 5 that had me cracking up because he took like the same type of dudes. But overall, I think they said the poll was that the sports guys, Haynes and this guy and Jerry West had the best team. Jerry West had Elgin Baylor, Kobe, and Wilt. Those are his first 3 picks.
Lakers.
Yeah, he said he was trying to take all Lakers, but he also had Barkley on the team too. He had Barkley on his squad. But it was interesting because D-Wade was taken real early. D-Wade was like a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
D-Wade is
and look, Jerry West to me is the probably the greatest GM ever. You know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What he did with the Lakers, what he did with Golden State. You know.
It was another team, the Clippers. He got the Clippers back in order too.
Yep. Yep. Greatest GM, one of the greatest basketball minds.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about all the cold shoulders that were thrown at the ceremony, the 75th anniversary? With
cold shoulders?
Mike and Chuck ghosted each other. It was a bunch of shade being thrown.
I know Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen.
Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen.
They took a picture together though.
They took a picture.
They did.
Yeah. It was backstage. They took a picture together.
I know Magic was kind of flaky because Isaiah was whispering in Magic's ear, and then Magic walked over to Jordan and started whispering in his ear. I was like,
I didn't pay attention to the Jordan Barkley thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, it said Jordan ghosted Charles.
They still not talking?
That's interesting. I know Scotty didn't show up because he ain't want no smoke.
Wow, Scotty, that's right. Scotty didn't show up.
He wrote that book and didn't want no parts of it.
Yeah, he didn't want any smoke. He just didn't show up.
Scotty should have showed up, yo. You gonna write it? Stand by it.
Yes, yeah. Stand by it.
Stand by it. What? Who got something to say? Jordan would have been in his face.
Yep.
Jordan might have hit him with the Juwan Howard out this way.
Yep.
5 fingers to the face.
Juwan them up.
Scotty didn't want no smoke, man, and that's disappointing. You know.
Oh man.
And you saw Clyde Frazier didn't wear the jacket.
No. He
was waving without the jacket on. Yeah.
He had like a snakeskin joint on or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't read it. He wouldn't wear it.
He gonna do him.
Yep.
That's what I does. That's what I'm here for. Y'all know what it is. You think this is Pepology #1. So before we bounce out of here, y'all got any football news? Anything you want to discuss with the NFL? Anything?
I love what Pittsburgh did with hiring Flores.
That's what we need to talk about. Boom.
That was a beautiful move. Hey, that's what was supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
He's keeping the pressure on the NFL.
Yeah,
he keep him in the league where he's still going to be relevant in the league.
And they're going to talk about it every week. And
with the black coach is the key.
And it's Pittsburgh where the Rooney ruled. The Rooneys, own the Steelers. It just Pittsburgh is playing chess with the NFL.
Yeah, they are.
Could Brian Flores eventually be the next coach in line if Tomlin decides to be out, retire?
It could happen. That could definitely happen.
I could see Pittsburgh doing that. I could definitely see Pittsburgh doing that.
Because he's a great coach.
Tomlin saying, I'm going to take a break because I know I can get a job and I'm going to leave this for him.
Yeah.
With the best organization. And I'm going to go and try my skills somewhere else. But I'm going to make sure this man has a job. He's with the right organization.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be hot.
Yeah, that was a good look this week to see that go down. Yep.
It was. Yep. I was trying to find that list for y'all, but they don't have it nowhere because it was the teams were called NBA on TV, Jerry West, Dominique Wilkins, according to sources, Quavo, Inside the NBA, DL Hughley, and Sue Bird. Sue Bird's team was kind of hot too, though. She had the least she had mostly popular like today's players. When it got down to like Paul Aronson and guys like that, she was on her phone looking up like their stats. Like, who's this guy?
Yeah, she had no idea who they were.
Yeah, she didn't know. But it was a pretty cool show to watch these guys draft everybody. Then Shaq said that Jordan, Magic, and Bill Russell against his team would have been barbecue chicken. I was like, Shaq, man, please. But yeah, he's like, barbecue chicken for sure. Barbecue chicken for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No Tracy McGrady, Ozzy said.
Oh no, McGrady was an honorable mention, but not on the 75. But in that draft, he got drafted. McGrady, Chris Bosh.
They had Joker,
and Klay Thompson. Those were the four.
Klay Thompson, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, those were the four guys that got drafted that weren't on the list, but they still got drafted. Yeah. Righteous. So it was actually it was pretty cool. And definitely Kenny Smith took Clyde Drexler way too early, trying to do that Houston Rockets thing. He took Clyde way too early.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the verses between AI and Tracy McGrady?
Yeah, I saw it.
No, what's that? Versus.
They doing basketball versus where they were just showing the highlights of the two people.
Really?
And it was pretty impressive, man.
It was.
Who won?
I don't think it was really a winner like announced. It was more so just to kind of show you how great both these two dudes, how filthy both of them were. I mean,
it was more so they ranked their highlights. As opposed to putting them against each other. Of course, AI is stepping over Ty Lue
Yeah,
it was the
legendary.
That was the pinnacle.
That's crazy.
You know?
It was a good 6-minute watch if you want to kind of catch
I'll check it out.
a quick YouTube video. It's a quick 6 minutes, but it's hot. It's hot. It just makes you remember how dope AI really was.
We'll bring
and Tracy McGrady.
And McGrady.
Yeah. We'll show it next week.
Yeah, I love AI's interview when they asked about the top players, and it was like somebody said Jordan or LeBron. And AI was like this. He looked at the camera like AI like he said. And he looked around. He was like, they must have forgot. He was like, forgot what? He was like, y'all forgot that man Mamba. He was like, y'all crazy. He's like looking around. Everybody started laughing like, like they don't even know. He's like, they forgot, yo. They forgot real quick. It's like this makes me laugh because it's true. Like, we gotta just remember like how great when people retire, we just like LeBron's gonna go through the same thing. If there was somebody in the league right now that could actually take the mantle.
What are you talking about?
But he's gonna be this
forgetting already. He ain't retired yet. Joker's all forgot. Is it Steph? Is it KD? I don't know.
That's true. It's already happening.
I just love AI. I love his interviews because he liable to curse. He liable anything will, and it's so real.
It's raw. It's like there's nothing fake about AI.
No. He's gonna give it to you straight up.
Nothing.
Yeah, man.
Gully, that's it. Nothing fake about him. But
raw.
I was happy to see him get celebrated because that dude just meant so much to the game. So for me too, I just love like
Bubba Chunks.
Bubba Chuck.
Well, listen. In the spirit of keeping it real, I'm hungry.
Okay.
So, that said,
I love this show, brother.
It's been a pleasure. Oh yeah, we all
always a show.
I scrambled up I-95 in thick Miami traffic to get back to make sure this show was on time because I love this show too. It's a special time for me, so it's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, man. IZM Sports, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We out of here. Peace.
All right, peace.